The atmosphere is great. I'm happy to be here. The Giants organization is a great organization. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Dable said he would tell you guys to take it easy, get in the flow a little bit today. But you're a competitor, you made it over the head. How hard is it to not want to show off today?
It's hard. Coach Grove told me I wasn't going to be participating in everything, and I told him why. So, that competitiveness in me, it's always going to show.
What are the correlations from your first day at LSU to your first day at the NFL field?
So real. I got to keep telling myself, continue to work hard. All your dreams came true, but it's time to move forward from all that. All that's over. So it's just being a pro.
What kind of advice have you gotten about playing in New York and playing in this market? Obviously, you said you spoke to Odell. He has experience in it. What's been the message to you about playing?
Just continue to be who I am. Who I am. It got me here today. So he just kept telling me, to still work hard, stay with that chip on your shoulder.
Who are you? Like, how would you describe who you are as a person?
I'm a funny person to be around. A good person to be around. I just, as a person, that plays football, the kind of thing that saved my life. So, I take it serious. So, again, I'm happy to be here. I'm finally here. So, just to get out there running with the guys, it's a dream come true.
Why do you say football save your life?
It was the only thing that I felt like I could do with my life. It was the only thing that I felt like, when I looked on what I wanted to do in the future, it was the only thing that, I had, plans to do. So it saved me and my family's life. It put my mom in the house that she want. It changed my life forever. So I'm happy to be here.
How important was it to take care of mom in the house?
It was very important. That was the most important thing in my life. I'll probably say is, having her, have her own house, feel comfortable and not having to worry about, bills to pay, and know that her, her little boy did it for her.
I don't want to pry, but is this the first house she's had?
Yes, ma'am. It's the first house she's ever been in.
When were you able to do that?
I was able to do it, about a week ago. So yeah, just seeing that smile on her face.
You mentioned at the combine how your interactions with the Giants and with Coach Dable,
right.
They were fun to be around, things like that. That was before you were drafted, right? Have you seen maybe a different side yet? I mean, it hasn't gotten crazy intense yet, obviously,
right.
It's your first day, but have you kind of seen like that was kind of trying to figure out if they wanted you and they liked you, and now that they've got you, it's maybe more work, or do you see like a little bit of a shift there at all?
Nah, Coach Dable is the same person I met on day one. He likes to crack jokes with me, push me to be, who I want to be. So, the shift hasn't been a change. They're the same people that I met first day.
Malik, Jayden said something controversial the other day about you guys having a bet on Rookie of the Year. Can you tell us what actually happened there?
I'm educated now that I got here that, about sports betting and gambling. So, we calling the bet off. There's no bet now. It was just another brother pushing another brother to try to get to, success. That's all it was. The level that I see myself playing, as a player and as a a competitive person, I'm always want to go fast. But Coach Dayball, he always tells me, I know the type of player you are, you're gonna want to take in all the information at once. But with this offense, you gotta slow it down. You gotta take it step by step for you to be where you want to be. You gotta know what you gotta do. So for me to play at 100 miles per hour, I still gotta know what I gotta do.
Malik, what was it like? I assume you signed this morning, right?
Yes, sir.
The office and stuff.
Right.
What was that whole process? I'm sure you dreamed of it. What it's gonna happen? What did it feel like to actually?
So real. When I was putting my hand, when I put my name on that paper, I was kind of shaking a little bit because and I got emotional because the job's not done, but another stage in my life was done. So for me to make it to this part of my life and part of my journey, it was a pat on my back in that moment.